Hailing opener Shikhar Dhawan's match-winning century against South Africa, Indian skipper Mahendra Singh Dhoni said the left-hander played smart by staying at the crease even after getting his 100. Dhoni liked the manner in which Dhawan, who struck 137 in India's challenging total of 307, planned his innings. The captain also acknowledged Dhawan's hard work during the training sessions. The skipper is happy that the team has found some momentum after back-to-back wins. Dhoni also hailed the performance of the bowling unit. He agreed with A.B. de Villiers' assessment that the wicket was a two-paced one. Having effected 2 run-outs, Dhoni said the fielding unit is also doing its job efficiently. Dhoni admitted that the intensity was a bit on the lower side during the tri-series as it was a big tour.
The win against Pakistan was satisfying, and would you say that this is more satisfying than that win?
I think, having back-to-back wins, and especially the kind of wins that we have had in the last 2 games, it's tough to get. So definitely both the games were important for us. And the way we played in this game also, last game I said it was a complete batting performance, but this game also I felt we did really well with the batting. And we tried something different. Last few overs, we actually went for the big shots irrespective of, when the wickets were falling. We actually wanted to see, how much we can push. So even when Raina got out, there was Jaddu who went for his runs. And ultimately, Shami and Ashwin were batting at the end. So that was good to see. And getting 300 runs was fantastic. It was definitely a par plus score on this wicket. And when we turned up with the ball, I think we bowled in the right areas and we made it tough for the opposition to score.
Yeah. MS, what do you have to say about Shikhar's comeback in the last 2 games, the way he's batted, especially the way he's dealt with the short deliveries?
Well, I think comeback is only 1 game. You can't say comeback for 2 games because, let's forget that. I think he batted really well. The reason was, if you see, he was putting a lot of effort in the net sessions. And as I said, a lot of times people talk about form, but form is something that nobody sees. It's just a matter of 15-20 minutes. And maybe it was something, that he spent in the last game, that 20 minutes of initial batting that really helped him. And today also you can see, he was really batting the way he bats. When it was there to play the big shots, he did play it. And he was also rotating the strike. And he made sure that once he got his 100, he was still there at the crease so that it was easier for the other batsmen also. So it's important, if you get 100 and if you are able to score 130 or 140 runs, you'll always see the team getting those extra 20 to 25 runs. So it was good on his part, to make sure that he stays till the end, because general tendency at times is, for the openers is to, after the 25th over, they like to play the big shots. They think their job is over. But I think in these conditions, once you are set, you have to make the most of it.
Right. Indian skipper said that the wicket was too paced and that the wicket was slow, and that is the reason that India won. So do you feel so? Was the wicket slow? So basically it is too paced wicket, it was said that, in the second, while batting, while they were.
Yeah, it's a difficult one to answer, but I think the bowlers bowled the right length. It was definitely too paced right from the start, but maybe under the lights, because general tendency is under the lights, it quickens up a bit, and we were able to get a bit more swing under the lights. And if there's an increase in pace, it definitely means, if it was too paced in the afternoon, and if the pace increases, the difference will rise, because if it becomes quicker, then the slow one will still, go slower. So I felt the mix of pace was good from our bowlers. But what was really crucial was the use of the bouncer. And I think the run out in the middle overs, 2 run outs from the fast bowlers, especially from the deep, I think that really changed the game for us.
My batsman's form sometimes goes up and down, and you set plans as for bowlers, and sometimes they're not able to execute well. But this Indian team, especially in the limited overs, knows that fielding is their strength. So how much of that uplifts your morale in the dressing room, especially coming on the back of a, say, poor tri-series into the World Cup? How much of that lifts you, changes your mood?
I think what we know is we can add minimum 10 to 15 runs to whatever we score. So, if you score 280 runs, which is a par score, we know with our fielding we can actually, add another 15 runs. And the kind of fielders that we have got, there may be one fielder or two, who are slightly slower than the others, but by no means they are bad fielders. But other than that, I think we have got some excellent fielders, and apart from that, we have got fast bowlers who are above average fielders. So overall, I've got plenty to play with. I don't always have to think about which player needs to go where. So I have time to think more about the strategies rather than, trying to use 4 or 5 good fielders and seeing, what's really needed, whether I need to stop the singles or I need boundary riders who can stop the 2s and the 3s. So that actually eases the pressure off me. But it's something that you will see in the coming years, with more players, the fresh players coming in, with the infrastructure that's provided to them and the kind of importance that's given to fitness. You will see more often than not the new crop of players, they'll be really good in fitness, which will reflect in the fielding department.
Last 4 in English: Gaurav, Abhishek, and Mahajan, and the 4th one Neerav.
MS, can you talk about the first 10 overs? Is that one of the best you've seen? I mean, India conceded, I think, 3 or 2 boundaries in the first 10 overs. Is that the best you've bowled in the first 10 overs in the last 6 to 12 months?
I don't remember that much, but in the recent times, definitely it was a fantastic performance. Maybe the wicket also helped us a bit, but still, hitting the right areas, the length, according to the wicket, how the wicket is behaving is crucial. And I felt that was the main aspect, where we were really good. They quickly assessed what was the right length to bowl, and they didn't give too much room. When it was swinging, they made sure they bowled tight length, and at the same time, when it stopped swinging, still they were bowling close. They never gave any extra width to the batsmen, and most of their batsmen, if you see, they love that extra width. Right from the top order, they just love to have that width, and they score quite freely. So it was important that we don't give them that width. And most important thing is, you always have plans, but how we execute the plan. So in the first 10 overs, this was definitely one of our best performance in the recent past.
MS, did it feel like playing at home with so much support from the stands? How much of a factor was the crowd in the game?
Well, I'm glad somebody asked that question, because the attendance was close to 86 or 87,000. Let's give the benefit of doubt, 20,000 to the South African fans, but to get like over 50,000 people, in Australia, I think it just adds on to, that atmosphere that gets created. It starts from the warm-up, and after the national anthem, it just multiplies. So, it's always good to play in front of good support, and the kind of support we are talking about, even when we are playing in India, there are stadiums, some of the stadiums which don't have that kind of a capacity. So even when they are full, they're close to 40,000. So today we are seeing, in Australia, close to more than 50 to 60,000 people supporting us. Definitely we'll need to give a lot of credit to them. So I think it's really heartening to, see, people coming from all over, not only India. A lot of them are from Australia, from England they have come. So overall, it feels good to play in front of big crowds.
After such a win, there can't be any criticism. But towards the end of our batting, it did appear that we could have scored more. Is it related to the fact that the other day you talked about the length at which the bowlers are bowling is difficult to clear the boundary?
Well, it is a difficult one. It's not only us. Most of the sides, if you see, it's not easy to. Especially if you have lost wicket, if you have set batsmen, they know the pace and the bounce and they can score. But if you see till the batsmen were batting, so you can say till I was batting with Jadeja, maybe till that time, we were scoring at a decent pace. So if it's difficult for the batsmen, we can't expect Ashwin and Shami to score at 8, 9 or 10 runs and over, because more often than not, the opposition won't allow us to score that freely. So till the batsmen were batting, I thought we were scoring at a decent pace. I don't know the stats, I may be wrong, but it felt good, and also what was important was Ajinkya's batting, because in the last game we promoted Raina ahead of him. But we had a chat with him. We said, back your strength, use your timing, because that's really your strength. If you look to give too much power, you lose shape and you're not able to score freely. But, you just need to use your timing. And in this game, especially, I thought he batted really well. He backed his natural instinct, his timing to a lot of extent to get the number of runs. So I was very happy with his performance. And slowly, with more games and seeing the condition, I think we'll start getting more and more runs.
Just taking off from what you mentioned about Rahane, just wanted to ask him, he's one of the quietest fellows in the team, and his development over the last 1.5 years, how pleasing has it been for you to see? I mean, how he's evolved?
No, there has been improvement. Irrespective of the format in T20, ODIs, or as a Test player, he has really improved. He's definitely one of the individuals who's not very rigid. He's quite open to ideas. He's quite open to try new things. And once he tries it out, he gives you a good response as to whether it's working or not working for him. And also, he's one of the fittest guys. You see him on the field. He's very quick, and his intensity actually never drops. Right from the first over till the 90th over, if you see a Test match, which I feel. To me, that's what fitness is all about. It's not about how many beep tests you can do. So it's really nice to see him. He's not someone who owns a position in the sense. He's not somebody who wants to field at covers. Wherever there's opportunity, he's willing to go there, whether it's boundary, covers, leg slip, anywhere. So, it becomes slightly easy. But what has been really good is, him backing his strength, which I feel is timing and exploiting the field to a lot of extent. So it's really good to see him get the kind of runs, and how he's getting it is very important.
Yeah, for question in Hindi, Gautam Bhattacharya, number 1.
MS, it is commonly usually seen that India performs better in ICC tournaments, but despite that, for a team that was struggling to win for the last 2.5 months, how do you explain this tremendous turnaround?
Well, we kept it very simple. Right from the start, we knew it will be slightly tough for us, to turn it on. The reason being, we'll be here for 4.5 months. So we wanted to test or give players more opportunities in the tri-series. To some extent, there were quite a few players who were injured also. So we kept the intensity a bit low, during the tri-series. Still, we wanted to win. We pushed for the wins, but we are not able to get that. But at the same time, we knew with the World Cup right at the corner, this tournament was much more important to us, and we had to make sure, people with niggles, they don't come into the World Cup. So, any individual who had a bit of niggle, we kept him out of the 11 because we didn't really want to push that particular individual. And also, we had put in a lot of effort and time, in these 15 to 17 players. So this is the right time, they have played ODI cricket for the last couple of years minimum. So, when you're putting in so much effort, you have to make sure that these individuals who are playing for the last couple of years, they turn up for the World Cup, because you're giving them minimum 40 to 50 games. So to some extent, you can say they are the experienced ones. So I feel, we kept it simple, and that really helped. The 10-day break also helped us to a lot of extent. And once we turned back after that 5 to 10-day break, we made sure that we use the practice in the best possible manner. We requested for a few central wicket practice. That was provided to us, and we gained a lot out of it. We had a few long practice sessions, but we made sure that in between, we have complete day offs also. So we have managed all these things well, and I think it's also a lot of credit needs to be given to the individual, support staff and the team, because to have that healthy dressing room atmosphere, despite the kind of losses that we have faced, is something that is very difficult. And not to forget, we get criticized a lot when we are not doing well. So you may ignore it to whatever extent, but it still plays a part.